Hi everybody, Alex Deployer from Expert Forex, and I hope this video gives you lots of money-making Forex trading ideas. And in today's video, we're going to have a look at a recent double-in-one trade that was sent to me by one of my friends in South Africa. So let's have a look at this particular trade. There are actually two trades on the screen, and I'll go through them one by one with you. Now, the first trade is a buy entry that was entered into over here where the E is. And then as the trade progressed, it was topped up. In other words, added to as it kept on going up and added to again and added to again. And by the time it hit the target, which was the target for all four of these transactions, by the time it hit that, it had doubled the account for this particular trader. And it is a well-known principle. I'll go through that in a little bit later, but that's how the double in a day principle works. You enter a deal, add to it once or twice or three times, and by the time it reaches your target, you will have doubled your account. Now, this is a fairly recent trade. It is on the 5th of September, and that's the way this trade was done. Now, here's another trade that the same trader did that didn't quite work out. And here it is. There's the entry. There's the first top up. There's the second top up. There's the third top up. And then, unfortunately, there was a sharp reversal, and the common stop of all these four transactions then was hit. And that one obviously made a loss. This one made a tiny loss. That one made a profit. And that one made a profit. So overall, that was still a profitable deal, but the following stop was hit. So they don't always work out, but that is the principle behind double in a day trading. Especially when it gets to this part, it becomes quite tricky because you can literally double your account or be stopped out at a small gain. Now, the other point of double in a day trading is that should at any time after the first stop, the price come back and hit the stop, the common stop for any open transactions that exist at the time, you will be stopped out at least break even. So you will never make a loss. And that's why this is such a popular trading method, because your transaction is actually risk-free as the first top up occurs, and is then totally risk-free. So it's risk-free. So your odds are, I'm going to be stopped out at break even, or I'm going to double my account. So the million-dollar question that everybody has on their minds, okay, so how did this guy enter these deals? And they look quite impressive. This one was right against the trend and he entered it there, right against the trend and he entered it there. Okay, so this particular trader is a fairly unique trader, and I'll go into this in a little bit more detail. He's pretty advanced trader, and he trades volume orders in the market. So he trades what we call depth of market. He's a DOM trader, but he also trades the charts. So when I say he also trades the charts, just have a look at the things that have happened on volume. Here at the below is the volume indicator for this particular broker, and you can see as the price came down, the volume started increasing, and that's normally a sign that the market is fighting the price movement. And as you can see, the volume got quite high at points there, and that is mainly why the entry was made, because the market was fighting that movement. And I'll tell you a little bit more about that, but here's one of the signs that you can use, is that an increasing volume could be fighting a particular market. So he entered there, and that is how that price movement started. And here was another one. It went down, the price fought that downward market and then pushed it up into his target. Same thing here. You can see exceptional fighting of that particular movement. Went over the critical level that he likes trading at, and he entered that particular transaction there, and up it went, up it went. And then it actually reached a point where the market was fighting against the movement that actually happened. But at that point, the trade was automated. The double in a day trade, that's one of the things that it does. It automates, takes emotion out of the trade, and unfortunately he was stopped out at a small gain. But that is a signal that he should have got out at that point, because the market was fighting. You see, it was going up there and it was fighting that particular movement, and it worked. It did reverse. So using volumes to trade Forex is actually an extremely good technique, and volumes is using volumes is you've got to understand how volumes work. And just to give you an idea of how volumes work is that, you know, when you're in space and you want to get from A to B and use a rocket to get to A to B, you don't have to fire like this rocket's firing all the time. You don't have to fire your rocket all the time. What happens is you point your rocket to where you want to go, like the moon, and you fire it for 2 or 3 seconds. Now, the amount of acceleration that that rocket experiences is enough to just push it towards the moon. You don't have to fire the rockets again. It is accelerating. There's no resistance in space, and it goes to the moon. Now, the same thing happens with increasing volume. Those are the rockets firing. They fire. And once they've fired, then the direction has been determined. Once they fire, the direction's been determined. Once they fire there, been determined. Once they fired there, the direction was determined. So that's how volume works. It actually determines the direction of the market. And then it will just keep on going, and the volume will actually drop, but it will still keep on going, because that's the way volume trading works. Now, the other thing about this particular trader is that he is a depth of market trader. We call them DOM traders. So in other words, he can actually see the orders in the market. He can see how many buyers there are and how many sellers there are. And when technical analysis traders draw lines on charts and they say, oh, there is support, we think there is where the level is, he doesn't guess. He knows there's support because he can see the orders that are in the market. So he knows where the levels of support are and where the levels of resistance is. And when it is safe to make a trade like I've just shown you now, where people have more buy orders in a particular area than they have sells orders, and that will reverse the direction of the market. So he is what I call a DOM trader, and there are certain brokers and certain platforms that will help you become a DOM trader. So you can actually, some people trade just DOM, they don't even look at the charts. They can where there's an imbalance in the market and they take advantage of it. There, as I say, there are some years, a TradeStation, for instance, on the pound USD, and it is showing the market, the orders in the market and the imbalances that exist in the market. And now this video is not about that. I'm just telling you about the guy that made this particular trade. He is a DOM trader. Now, so DOM trading is pretty advanced stuff, and it's a bit like a child going through school. In primary school, the child doesn't get taught things that happen at high school, and when you're in high school, you have to pass your exams and get extremely good grades in order to go to university. And only at university do you get taught the more advanced things about life. And the same thing exists in Forex trading. You've got to master certain elements. And certain elements of trading need to become second nature to you before you can move on to more advanced things. And this trader has done that, and he has mastered technical analysis, fundamental analysis, and also DOM trading. So he's in a league of his own. A while ago, I brought out a series called the Simple and Easy Forex series, and in the Turning Points module, I have a section on trading volumes, and funny enough, that's number 1 in this particular section. So you can go and download this particular series, there are 6 books in this particular series: entries, exits, where to place stops, how to manage your money, all those kind of things. You can go and download those things from our forum. So here's the forum. Now, there are many ways of getting to this forum, to this page where you can download the modules. Here is the menu. When you get to the forum, go to categories, then Forex courses and techniques, and then simple and easy. So that's number 1. Then here's the link to this page that you see. There's the link. And then on your on the top right hand corner, you'll see another link that will give you the same access to this page. Just click on that link and it will take you to this page. You can then download all these modules and have a look at the turning points module, where volumes actually are discussed as a means of determining turning points in the market. Now, this guy also used the double in a day technique. The double in a day technique is very, very simple. You enter a deal, you top it up as many times as you want, and by the time it hits the target, you should have doubled your account. Now, there's an amazing amount of information on this technique. 45 videos on YouTube, freely available to be viewed. So if you click here, you will be taken to this page, and you can then decide which videos you want to view. Now, please bear in mind, as I mentioned earlier, you need to be a master of these techniques. They should be second nature to you for you to be able to move on to more advanced techniques. But it does help if you're a bit of a genius or you're a bit brainy. You will pick up these things a lot faster. But it also takes quite a bit of work. So your actions after watching this video is download the free Simple and Easy series, study it, have a look at some turning points in the market, techniques, and then the other thing is watch a few of the free double in a day videos to get an idea of how this technique works. It is absolutely not rocket science. All it is saying is that if you've got a good trade, then top that good trade up a few times and you can double your account. You don't have to double your account. In fact, our first students, what they do is they just enter a trade, top it up once, and maybe improve their account by 5% or 10%. Then as they get better, they increase it slowly and increase it slowly to the point where they've reached the point where, like this guy, he can double his account in one day by using these techniques. Now, I hope I've given you something to think about for your future Forex trading activities, and I hope I've stretched your mind to show you there is much more out there than a lot of people realize, but some of it's pretty advanced, and some of it explains why some people make huge amounts of money, where others are still battling with basic technical analysis and money management issues, and they cannot break out of those issues that hold them back and move on to much more advanced trading philosophies.
Thanks for watching this video. If you've liked it, please give it a like. If you haven't subscribed yet, subscribe and click the bell. But most importantly, share this video. You can do this in many ways. Message your friends, send them emails, or share it on social media, on Facebook, on Twitter, and those kind of places. So from me, Alex Deploy, cheerio.